What's up, guys? Spirit Breaks and Takes here, otherwise known as Andrew. I'm excited. You know what it is? It's draft day. It's draft night coming up to here in the UK, day over there in the US. So when you're watching this, I hope you're all excited. And what better way to start the prep than talking through some draft? So myself and my pal Sam Ainger, at Sam_Ainger on Twitter, we're going to go through a little draft and a mock draft and name some of our favourite players to watch this year. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe if you do, and share around to your friends. Let's get into it.
Okay, so small disclaimer here. I may have forgot to put the audio on the first 17 picks from my end. Luckily, we still have Sam's audio, and I've managed to kind of dub over it with kind of what I remember saying. So I hope it's okay for you guys. Anyway, the second half is still great, as for are the end pits. Anyway, guys, let's get into it.
Dockers, what's up? What's happening?
I'm good, bud. How are you?
I'm all right. Just ready for this party in about 4 hours now. I'm ready.
What are your food plans for the night?
Well, I've got a chili on. I'm going to do some nachos. I bought some snacks. I bought like 4 big bags of crisps. And I'm going to be sitting on my own, just like you and everybody else around the world watching it. What about you?
Yeah, same. Got some beer and tortilla chips.
Bless you.
Not looking forward to working the next day. Got some Red Bulls in. It should be good.
Working next day?
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's
horrible. I love that t-shirt, by the way. That t-shirt is brilliant.
Well, it's draft day every day.
Cheers, bud. I'm ready. I'm ready, baby. Let's do this.
Okay, so pick number 1.
Joe Burrow to the Cincinnati Bengals, first overall. It's the deserved pick. It's the consensus pick. It's the right pick. It's everything. It's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to a change. Massive looking forward to a change. We've had the same quarterback, for the past 9 years. Love Andy Dalton. Love what he's done on the field, off the field. But I think we all know as fans that it's just time for that change now. And what Burrow does on the field, it's just, statistically, is it the greatest college quarterback of all time, statistically? He's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. And it's going to be great. Just seeing him in pre-season, that excitement that we're going to have. It's been a long time since Bengals fans have had any excitement, and it's going to be nervous. I'm going to be nervous watching him, but
yeah, I'm in the same. I think we need to be realistic. He's going to have some rookie issues. We just need to support him through that. But if there's one player that can do it, it's going to be Burrow. Just how it's the off the film stuff, it's the intangibles, the mental aspect he has.
I agree.
The ability to get better on the next play every time is really impressive.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what the Bengals need, because Bengals have always had, you could say, since Dalton's been there, had that curse of Dalton being that guy who can't handle it in playoffs and all that. And Bengals have took so much scrutiny over the years, and I'm just a little bit fed up of it. And it's not just me, it's you, it's all Bengals fans. They're all a bit fed up of it now. And I'm just ready for that fresh start. And it's going to happen. Yes. So number 1, if you're asking me, overall, Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, LSU.
Okay, so pick 1 is locked. What are we thoughts on pick 2? Are we going to see any surprises here?
No. It's going to be Chase Young. There is the Redskins have got some pieces there. They got Jonathan Allen. They got they got Ryan Kerrigan. And who else they got now? I forgot who it is on the end. Montez Sweat. But Chase Young, adding him to that dynamic in to that team. It's what they need. It's what they need on their defense. And you know, he's explosive. And you know, as people are saying, he's the best player in this draft. So if you've got that there, if it's sitting on your lap, just take it. You know, it's going to happen. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I'm not personally as high on him as I was on Nick Bosa, but still he's a really productive player. Really nice agility bend, super productive, led college in sacks this last season. What I think, yeah, I agree. If you're there, you've got to take the player. It's a simple choice. So yeah, Chase Long.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chase Young is the pick.
Yeah.
So we're 2 picks down. Nothing, no trades yet.
What do you think?
What do we see here with?
I think Miami going to trade up. This is the first trade of the draft.
So you're locking a trade in.
This is me locking a trade in. Tua Tagovailoa goes to Miami Dolphins.
Dolphins jump from 5 to 3. 2-pick jump.
It's a 2-pick. I mean, Dolphins are picking up 5, aren't they? They're going to jump up to 3. They're going to give up what? We're going to give up maybe a late first rounder because they've got 3 picks in. They've got 3 picks in the first round, haven't they?
I think they can get away with kind of a second or third.
They could. They could well do a second because the Trubisky trade the other year. What was that? Was that a second?
I think that was third, maybe a future third as well.
But they're jumping up 2 spots. I think
that works. So, because it's not a huge jump, but it just locks them in getting ahead of the Chargers.
And you know, Tua, even if Fitzpatrick, even if Tua's not fully ready, I mean, we saw those videos online. You know, we're all over Twitter with him working out in the training center. He looked pretty good. He could move, and but it doesn't tell the whole story, I guess. But I mean, even if he didn't start, I mean, playing behind Fitzpatrick seems like a good guy to be around and, you know, teaching the ropes. I think Tua is the pick for the. I think it's, you know, like I was saying about the Bengals earlier, that how much we're ready for a change. I think Dolphins are as well a quarterback. They need it, and I think Tua's the guy over Herbert. I think Tua's the guy. You know, wait for him. If he's not fully healed for the season, wait and see what happens from there.
Yeah, I think on paper, I'd take Tua over Herbert, but there's huge worries of injuries there. Questions around those 2 ankles, a hip, a wrist. There's a lot of questions for me. I'd be worried. It's a lot of risk, but you need a future quarterback. They tanked the season for that. Let's see what they get out of Tua, that's for sure. He did have a great supporting cast, 3 first-round receivers. But Burrow also had 2 great guys.
Yeah. It's interesting with Tua. Oh, sorry, go on. No, I'm going to say it's interesting with Tua. Like, I listened to Todd McShay, I think it was last week, a couple of weeks ago or so, and he was saying, and he said for a while now, like that if between Burrow and Tua, if he knew that none of those quarterbacks were going to get injured going forward, on paper, he would take Tua. He thinks Tua is the better talent than Joe Burrow overall, which is, you find it hard to believe, I guess. But with the Tua injuries, if he didn't have the injuries, do you think the Bengals could be taking him? That's another topic to discuss, I guess. But
yeah, there's a question there. I just think for me, Burrow looked better in terms of the intangibles and that kind of championship run-in. He was phenomenal. It's probably the best stretch of games I've ever seen by a college quarterback. So pick 4, New York Giants. I think this is a very different draft if it's not the Giants at the top. Trades would be different. However, you know what it's like with Dave Gettleman. Like you said, he's going to pick defense. And I think there's one defensive player here that a DC would love to have.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, so we're I think we're talking about a guy here, Isaiah Simmons, Clemson linebacker. He's called a linebacker, but I think you can play him anywhere. Put him in the middle of the field, drop him to safety, put him up on the line even. This guy can play all over the field. He's an absolute disruptor wherever he is on the field. So I think this is an interesting pick, but a good pick. So we're here with the Lions again after their trade down with the Dolphins. What are you thinking?
The Lions get a cooler. They get a cooler at 5. They get the guy who they wanted originally. And that was the consensus as well. At 3, Lions Akuda. That's what everybody's saying. Instead, no, they trade back. Miami go and get Tua. Lions pick at 5. And Akuda's there again. It just seems like it's going to happen. It's a very smart move, I think. I can really see this happening, can't you?
Yeah, it's definitely a good pick there. Great value. They get an extra pick as well.
What are we saying next?
So, pick 6.
That's the Chargers, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? Can I make this executive decision between me and you? I'm gonna let you talk about this guy. I'm gonna say quarterback Justin Herbert out of Oregon, which is by the way, that's Dockers' team.
That's my team. Go Ducks. Herbert is an interesting one. He has a great arm, fantastic arm, probably the best arm in the class. Great legs and athleticism as well, which we saw at the combine. He has this cute quarterback size at 6'5". The issues that worry me are kind of whether he has the clutch gene, that consistency. He makes the merit throws, and he just doesn't take over in games as you want to see from a franchise quarterback. I think he is a real boom or bust kind of guy. There's a lot of potential there, but there's also a lot of risk. Some argument is that the OC kind of limited him in college, lots of screens, just didn't let him use his best ability, use his legs, use his arm strength. They were limited at the wide receiver position as well. But I'm interested by this pick, and I'm excited to see his career. But that's it from me on this one, really. Justin Herbert, pick number 6 for the Chargers. So, moving on, pick 7. What are you seeing here for the Panthers?
Panthers are a difficult one. They got Teddy now. Receiver wise, they've got Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. It's a nice receiving core. Need a little bit of help on the line, but I just don't think taking top 10 linemen's their pick right now. They could do some help. I'm just looking at their roster now. They got Dante Jackson, who proved to be a really explosive corner. Yeah. They need a little bit of help there. They lost a few players over the years, haven't they? They still got K1 Short down in the trenches. They've got Brian Burns, who they drafted last year, who I loved. I'm going to go corner. I'm going to say CJ Anderson out of Florida. Could be a nice little bit of help for Dante Jackson there. Yeah, I think that's a nice, comfortable pick. I like that pick, CJ Anderson. Go on, Doc, because I'm going to give you one. Next up, Arizona Cardinals. What are you thinking?
Well, Kyler needs help. They need to protect their quarterback. He's a mobile guy, but he was scrambling for his life out there last year. I think we're going to go for a tackle, and it may not be everyone's first choice, but it's going to be Mekhi Becton out of Louisville. Okay, so we're moving on to the Jags. What are you thinking here, Sam? Where are they going to go?
I think defense. I think defensive tackle. The thing that stands out to me when I think about the Jags, they've had such a solid defense. You know, they had that. They kind of peaked a couple of years ago. They had like a couple of years of really solid defense, and it's kind of lost its way a little bit since they lost Calais Campbell and Marcel Darius. So I think Derek Brown out of Auburn fits in nicely here. He's going to be a plug-in guy straight away. You know, drafted Josh Allen last year as well. Put Derek Brown in, stuff the run. Yeah, straight away he's going to be a plug-in guy. Colin Dockers, Cleveland Browns. Who are they going to take?
I think it's the same thing I mentioned about Kyler for Baker. They think he's his guy. They need to protect him in that backfield. He's spending too much time running around there, making crazy throws. So he needs some time, a safer pocket. And I think for that, they're going to go for their tackle. And I think it's probably their tackle one. It's Tristan Wirfs, a guy who, for a 320-pound buy, looks really lean. He had a great combine running that 4.8 40. For his size, it's crazy. Really powerful guy, huge thighs, great vertical, great broad. Just shows he has that explosion. Some think he might kick inside to guard, but I think he's got enough, certainly at least at right tackle. And I think that's the pick here. Cleveland Browns, sorry, go for Tristan Wirfs. So that's the top 10 done. Moving on to the Jets.
Beautiful.
What are we thinking here then? Are they going to go tackle as well?
Jets need help everywhere. It's like you said about Baker earlier. Sam Darnold was running for his life last year. And he's still so young as well. You need to get him help as soon as possible. For me, I'll say Jedrick Wills out of Alabama. You know, they need to solidify that spot at the offensive line. If you look at the offensive line that they got right now, it's just there's a lot of no-namers there, and they need to get him in right away, plug him in straight away. Offensive line, Jedrick Wills, Alabama. You know, it's tempted to say wide receiver, and there are still wide receivers on there right now because they've got Quincy Enunwa, Rashad Perriman, Jameson Crowder. It's still not good enough at receiver, really. But I've always been a believer in building from the trenches, especially when you got a young quarterback, and there's a lot of receivers to come. Yeah, anyway, this is one of the best receiver. Well, it's probably the best wide receiver class I've ever seen. So build from the trenches first, help Darnold, and start from there.
So no longer Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. Where are they going, Sam?
Las Vegas, baby. I'm saying, I'll keep this quick. John Gruden or any other coach would like the best route runner in the league, or in this draft, should I say, and that's Jerry Jeudy. At receiver, they got Zay Jones, Tyrell Williams, who I did say played for the Chargers earlier, so I do apologize. They got Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Renfro. None of these are game-changing guys. You put Jerry Jeudy in, he's gonna change the game. He's gonna change that offense altogether. He's a phenomenal wide receiver. I'll keep it quick. Raiders take Jerry Jeudy. You agree?
Yep, I think, like you mentioned, this is the best route runner in the class. So that's a good pick for them, certainly here. On to pick 13 then. Sam Fram. Do we see another receiver here?
I think we do. The thing is, with the 49ers, they've got this pick and they've got the 31st pick. So they've got 2 in the first round, but they haven't got a pick in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which is crazy, but we'll get onto that later. And when you've got somebody like Henry Ruggs that falls to you, I think this is going to be Kyle Shanahan's kind of dream scenario. They've already got quick kind of guys on their offense. They've got like Deebo Samuel, Marquise Goodwin, but Kyle Shanahan seems to make these quick, speedy guys work, and I think it'll be incredibly exciting if we see that pick coming. I'm saying Henry Ruggs. I'll try and keep it quick. I'll say Henry Ruggs to the 49ers. Right then, Dockers, what we got? The new era, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, Gronk. Who's going to be next?
Yeah. Yeah, so you mentioned they've got their quarterback, they've got their tight end, but with a 42-year-old behind center, you need to give him some help. I think they have to go offensive line here and pick up one of the last good guys out there in Andrew Thomas from Georgia. Some guys think he's a top 10 pick, so that if that's the case, Bucks here will be happy at 14 to snag him up, give Brady some time in the pocket, find his weapons that he's got there in Mike Evans and Godwin. Should be an exciting time for Bucks fans, that's for sure. Will it work in Tampa? I'm not so sure, but it'd be exciting. That's definite.
Let's go on to the next one. Who we got? We've got Denver Broncos. This is an interesting one. What do you think?
Well, I think we see another wide receiver off the board, and it's a guy I think I'm quite high on. I think I lost that bet.
Oh yes, you did, and I know who you're going to pick.
But yeah, it's that guy, it's CeeDee Lamb. Not the greatest route runner, not the fastest guy, but has really good hands and really good overall all-round player. That's why he's my wide receiver one in this class. Just consistently performs. Really stood out all the way through college. So the pick here is CeeDee Lamb, another weapon for Drew Lock. I'm happy with this. And then so the Broncos fans should be too.
Yeah. Drew Lock looked really good last year, towards the end of last season anyway. And they could do with wide receiver because Courtland Sutton's really he's made a name now, and he's definitely a prospect going forward. And I agree with that pick. CeeDee Lamb's a lovely pick there. Yeah. Atlanta Falcons. If it was me, I'd say defense. I'd say more defensive line, maybe corner. So I don't think they got Trufant anymore, have they? But you might disagree with me. Let's see.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're going to go defensive line. I think they'll go defensive tackle. The guy I'm going to go for is Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle from South Carolina. This is a guy who, interesting backstory, grew up kind of homeless at times. Has given him a huge motor to perform. You can see it in the way he plays. Only turned up to the Senior Bowl for first day of practice and just looked another level out there, just treating offensive linemen like ragdolls. But I think he's got a huge potential. He could even be my DT1 in this class. A few injuries to worry about, but there's a lot of talent there, and I think the Falcons would be very happy he's fallen to them here. So we're halfway through this draft now. Moving on to the second half, we've got the Cowboys. Who do you think Jerry Jones is going to give the call to here, Sam?
Oh, he's going defense. I mean, Cowboys, they've got an overall solid roster, I think. So the Dak Prescott thing seems to be still up in the air a little bit. I think he's got his weapons there. Certainly got, for me, possibly the best running back in the league still. Ezekiel Elliott. Offensive line does need a little bit of help. Obviously, losing Travis Frederick, that's a massive shame. But defensively, I think with the loss of Byron Jones, I think that hole needs filling there. They got Chidobe Uzziah on the other side. They got Anthony Brown. But, I mean, corners that are left, I can't believe we've let this guy slide, Doc, because why has this happened? Jeff Gladney out of TCU, great in man coverage. He's the kind of guy that many teams would like. From what I saw of him, he struggled a little bit in space, tackling in space. But as a man coverage guy, he's incredibly reliable. He's got really quick feet. Sticks to his receivers. He's a playmaker. And I think, like I said, I think Gladney's. I can't believe how much I've let him slide. Yeah, I'm taking Jeff Gladney. He's there. Yes, I think Jerry Jones will love this man. He's going to love him.
You'll see, this is the guy that fixes Byron Jones's loss.
Go on, Dockers. Dolphins' second pick, the first round. Who are we having?
Yeah, so they've got their quarterback of the future, or so you believe. Let's see. We need to protect that guy. Their roster is a mess, but we'll start building the trenches, give to us some support. We'll go with, we're running out of tackles here, so we'll go Josh Jones. This is a guy from Houston, pretty athletic. Looked really good at the Senior Bowl actually. Just kind of looked very comfortable in what he faced. The issue there is whether he can deal with kind of the strength and the pass rushes and the ball rushes at the next level. But we'll see. That's kind of the pick here. Josh Jones, 18.
Yeah.
So on to pick 19. Raiders are back on the board. Gruden got his receiver. Where do they go with this second pick in the first round, Sam?
They go defense again, and it's going to be like the 9th player out of LSU to go in the first round. Christian Fulton, cornerback. They need some help there. So yeah, I'm saying Fulton.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Keep it nice and going to keep it nice and sweet.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it didn't have the greatest 40 time, but kind of looks better on tape than his speed showed. Yeah, happy with that.
Rather than Dockers, pick number 20, Jacksonville Jaguars. I was just going to say they went interior defensive line for their first pick. Do we go offense this time?
No, I think we stay on defense, and I think we stay on defensive line again. We've covered the interior. I think Ngakwe's on tag, but I don't think he wants to be there, seeing the stuff I've seen in the media. So I think we go for an edge. And in Caleb Chason, I think we've got a guy who some think he may even go in that kind of top 16. So this is a good pick again for the Jags. He's very kind of dynamic. One of those more of a speed rusher guys rather than straight power. Has a good ability to kind of bend around the edge, and that's where he creates pressure. So I think this is a good pick. 2 defensive linemen, but it sets them up for the future, that's for sure. Into the 20s, we've got the Eagles here. Howie Roseman, is he going to kind of go for that full-on push into the playoffs and into the Super Bowl now?
Yeah, I think that'll help by taking another wide receiver, the best receiver on the board right now, Justin Jefferson. You had Deshaun Jackson, who was out. I think he got injured in the first game of the season last season. They massively missed him. They hugely missed him. And when you have that other threat of Alshon Jeffrey on the other side, you bring in LSU's Justin Jefferson, who was, let's say, a huge help to Joe Burrow last season. He can play outside. He can play inside. I said on a previous podcast a few weeks ago that I think that Justin Jefferson could be he could be the most successful wide receiver in this entire draft when it's all said and done. He's just so super reliable, smooth, quick, and I think his combine shocked us all. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, certainly that 40 time I did not expect.
I mean, you can plug Jefferson in you can plug him inside, outside, and I think he'd be a great fit at Eagles. I think that'd be a great fit. Yeah, I'm saying Justin Jefferson. Next up, we've got Minnesota Vikings. Mike Zimmer likes defense. Does he do the same this year?
I think he has to. His cornerback room was kind of stripped this offseason by the Bengals, both Trey Waynes and Mackenzie Alexander coming over here. So I think we see a cornerback, and I think we see the room's kind of falling away in the draft. I think we'll go for a Clemson guy. We'll go for AJ Terrell. He had some struggles in the national championship game, struggled against guys like Jamar Chase, but there's a lot to like on tape. I think he certainly projects as at least a starting level guy, plug and play. So we'll see. My pick is AJ Terrell. So after the Vikings, we're on to the Patriots. Where do you see Bill Belichick going here? Is he getting a new quarterback or elsewhere?
No, he doesn't go quarterback. Not just yet, anyway. We've had another guy slide Dockers, and that's Zach Bourne, defensive end edge guy at Wisconsin. He's the kind of guy that Belichick will love in that 3-4 system. He can cover. He's a relentless type pass rusher, aggressive, hard. Just loads, just a ball of energy. I think Belichick will find a way of just making him work in that scheme of his. He's always been great at Belichick, so I trust this pick, Zach Bourne to the Patriots.
Okay. So next after the Patriots, we've got Sean Payton picking for his New Orleans Saints. Where's he going here? Drew Brees is still there. Is he going to get his little backup for the future or somewhere else?
Well, it's Drew Brees' last year now, isn't it? So what we're going to do? We're going to go defense. I think offensively, they've got a lot of pieces there already. Defensively, at linebacker, they could do with some help. Not that the team as a whole really needs much help. They're a really good team, as we all know. I'm going to say Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. Big, hard thumping guy. Good at the run stuff inside of the game. Not so much in coverage. But Dennis Allen he's made it work for years. Like I was saying about Belichick earlier with Bourne. Dennis Allen, I trust. Certain coordinators you can trust just to make these plays work despite certain flaws. Kenneth Murray.
Yeah.
Vikings, pick 25. Went defense last time. Pick 22 went Terrell at cornerback. Who are they picking this time?
I think Zimmer goes for his defense again. I think we're going defensive line, and I think we're going defensive tackle. We're looking at a guy who probably reminds him a bit of a guy he used to coach in Cincinnati. It's Neville Gallimore, showing a bit of Atkins in his tape. Very explosive first step. Not the tallest guy. Interesting kind of backstory. Kind of came from Canada. But no, really exciting prospect. Disruptive. Should be a good pick.
Dockers, it's Dolphins again. I'm getting bored of Dolphins picks. We took Tua and we took Josh Jones, a tackle out of Houston. What we're doing now, surely not offense again.
I think they need it. I think it's a guy that's going to be between the two. I think it's a guy that's going to be the center or a guard, and that's Cesar Ruiz, the center from Michigan. 4-year starter, real leader on that offensive line. Looked really comfortable. Really high IQ, kind of calls the line calls there, and I think he probably would be the center that Tua partners with for the next kind of 4 years and beyond.
Seahawks. You ready?
Yep.
Dockers, Seahawks, 27. Where we're going?
Seahawks are always a weird one in the first round. They kind of have their own draft board and throw everyone else's out the window. I think it's a tough one. I think I'm going to go here for Gross Matos out of Penn State. It's a guy who has some good athleticism, that kind of linebacker edge guy. He can struggle to disengage at times, but I think there's enough potential there. Certainly a late round guy. Gives you the 5th-year option. They stay here and pick Gross Matos. So pick 28. I think this is a pick that they'd have liked Ruiz, but he's gone to the Dolphins. So where do the Ravens turn to next?
Ravens, because it's the Ravens, I'll keep this quick. I'm hoping to take a guy that I wasn't all that big on in this whole draft prospect, and that's Patrick Queen. It could potentially make their defense even more terrifying. You know, they signed Derek Wolfe in the off season. I'm just looking at it now. They've got Brandon Williams, Calais Campbell, Jalen Ferguson, who they picked up last year, Matt Judon, corner Marlon Humphrey, and it's a terrifying defense. And they've got Wink Martindale, a defensive coordinator, and like I say, people like him can make these plays work. Queen I might end up being wrong about Queen, but we'll see what happens. But I'm taking Patrick because there is a little bit of a hole at that linebacker spot. The Ravens, the little holes that they have anyway. Patrick Queen could end up filling that hole, so I'll say Queen there at Ravens. Pick 29. Tennessee Titans. This is something we spoke about earlier, a couple of hours ago. And we both agreed. Do you still agree 2 hours later?
We'll see what happens on draft night, but there's definitely an argument for this one. and it's a running back. It's our first running back off the board, and it's not everyone's top running back. It's not DeAndre Swift. It's a guy who was super productive in college, back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons. It's Jonathan Taylor. Kind of fits that Henry mold of a power guy with speed, runs sub 4.4 at the combine. The issue here is fumbles. We've seen a few of these in his time. Maybe just trying to do too much. We'll see at the next level. But this pick for the Tennessee Titans is Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin.
I love it. I love the pick. I love it.
Pick 30. The Packers are on the clock. Does Aaron Rodgers finally get the help he needs?
Yes, he does. And he gets a wide receiver. It's about time that the Packers did this in the first round. It's a player I do like, and it's Denzel Mims out of Baylor, wide receiver. He's a big, strong dude, big physical guy, 6'3". He ran a 4.38 his combine. Highly productive at Baylor. Physical at the line. He's strong in contested catches. The only thing I had a problem with is he had a bit of a problem with his consistency. That's what put me off him a little bit. And there was the odd drop catch as well. There were a few drop catches I saw. But I think the Packers can make him work, and Aaron Rodgers can definitely make it. If there's anybody in the league that can make him work, it's Aaron Rodgers. I'll say Denzel Mims out of Baylor to the Green Bay Packers. Dockers, pick 31. It's the second pick, the first round for the 49ers. First pick, they took speed receiver Henry Ruggs. What did they do for their second pick?
Well, I think there's a few options they could go in. Oh, hang on. Okay. I'm hearing of a trade. This is news. So the Colts are going to come up here, and they're not a massive move. They're going to move from 34. They were second pick in the second round. They move up here to 31. This works for both teams. The 49ers really need more picks. Like you mentioned earlier, they've got nothing in the second, third, or fourth. So the Colts come up here, give them the second pick in the second round and a fourth round pick as well. And in return, the Colts get a fifth-year option on their future quarterback, potentially. It's Jordan Love from Utah State.
Who? Oh!
This guy...
I like it.
Isn't a guy to scout from the box sheet. Last season had 20 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. Wasn't pretty, but he's working with very limited talent. Chris Ballard's a guy who was previously in KC before they drafted Mahomes, and I think he wants his chance to draft that kind of guy with elite arm strength. And Jordan Love, if there's one thing he has, it's elite arm strength. With some ability to go with it, that's for sure. So the pick here, at 31, Jordan Love to the Colts.
Yeah. Nice. He's not a guy I've seen a great deal of, so I'm going to trust your pick, Dockers. I'm going to trust it.
We'll see. Not super high on him, but I think they need a guy. Phillip Rivers is on a 1-year deal. Brissett is also a free agent at the end of the season. They need a quarterback in there somewhere. So Sam, we made it. We're on to the last pick in the first round and the end of this mock draft. Kansas City Chiefs with the 32nd pick. Where are you going?
Well, it's not like they need a great deal of help. They could even well try to trade down at this spot. But I'm going to be biased here. I'm going to go one of my favorite players in this entire draft and a big sleeper in this draft, Damon Arnett, cornerback out of Ohio State. I think he'd be one of the best players available, especially with the Chiefs. They don't need much help on defense. But there's a little hole to be filled there at corner. And Arnett is such a versatile guy who can play in zone and man. He's very hard hitting in zone. He's a great tackler. He's great in man coverage. His stats don't blow you away at Ohio State. I mean, he played alongside Jeff Okudah. So Arnett was kind of, not swept under the carpet as such, but he wasn't talked about as much as Okudah. But I think he's one of these sleepers that I think could be a starter in the league. And I think he sneaks. I mean, a few weeks ago, a few months ago, it was projected as like a third, fourth rounder, but I think he's crept up over the past few weeks. And here's me saying that I think he's going to sneak into the first round. So let's go. Damon Arnett, cornerback, Ohio State, Kansas City Chiefs. Make that team even better.
There we go. Damon Arnett locked in with the final pick of this first round draft.
Quite enjoyed this, Doc. This has been fun.
We
need to do this again next year.
Yeah. Just for us Bengals fans, these are the guys left on the board. McKinney.
Oh, what we got?
Delpit. DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Ezra Cleveland, Isaiah Wilson, Austin Jackson, Antonio Winfield, AJ Epinesa, Ayuk, a guy I really like, Epignogene, Riga. Some good names there. Who would you kind of fancy out of there, Sam?
I need you to repeat those again. Tell you what, go through each one, and I'll say who I'd trade down if they were there.
So let's say the top guy on your board is McKinney.
I'm taking him.
Even with the depth at the minute in the Bengals?
Yeah, I know we've just signed. I'm taking him. I'm surprised we haven't even taken him in this first round. Take him. Best players available. Take them.
Next one is Delpit.
You made them work. Delpit, no.
Good. Swift, Dobbins. We'll get that as kind of a. Would you go running back?
Two running backs, no.
Cleveland.
Ezra Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
I think that really helps. That's kind of your other tackle.
Yeah.
2 bookmarks for 4 years at least. Even Isaiah Wilson, I kind of would be okay with. What's your thoughts there?
I'm not a fan of Wilson. He's I saw a film with him the other day. He seems to be constantly off balance, gets rocked a lot. He gives away a lot of sacks, very inconsistent. He just seems a little bit stiff, and it's like his feet don't marry his hands, and I don't know. He just looks a bit messy when you watch him. But you know, these players can be worked on, especially when they get into the NFL. But I'm just not a big Isaiah Wilson guy.
I think I know the answer for the next one, but Austin Jackson.
Yes, absolutely. Developmental guy can work. Say developmental guy, you could plug him in straight away at left tackle. Put Jonah in at right tackle. That's my philosophy on it.
Interesting.
What about you? What do you think to that?
I worry about him with dealing with power. I agree that there's a lot there, kind of athleticism and mirroring. Working with power and pushing guys back is where my concerns are. Certainly at this higher pick. Would I rather have maybe 2-day 2 picks? I think I'd maybe go for the 2-day 2 picks. Next one, Winfield, again another safety.
Yeah, it's a safety. Yeah, I'm not going there.
I quite like Winfield. I think in my board I have him as high as McKinney, but I agree, kind of position value right now for the Bengals. I'm not touching him with Von Bell, with Sean Williams and Jesse Bates. AJ Epinesa.
It's just with Sean Williams, it's the unknown. We don't know how far we're going to take him and how far he's going to be with us. If you take somebody like McKinney, you know, it could be dynamite. You know, sometimes you just got to take best player available, I think, and you just figure it out from then onwards.
AJ Epinesa.
Oh, 33, no. He's very scheme dependent, I think.
Yeah, productive guy, but I don't know where he fits in the NFL. I'm sure someone will find a way to deal with him, but I'm not confident I would be the DC if that was my pick. Ayuk is the next one up. I think that's the guy I would snap up. A guy who I have a first round grade on. Sam, how do you feel about Ayuk?
I like Ayuk, not as much as you do. I think you need to tell me more about Ayuk.
Well, that may be coming just shortly in our last and final feature. Okay, so a few more guys we saw go in this first round, but have been drafted kind of in those 30s picks in other mock simulators. What do you think of these names, Sam? Give me a quick fire pick if you like the guy, or trade if you want to move on. So first guy we've got Cesar Ruiz.
I will say take.
Good one. Denzel Mims.
33. Trade.
Ooh.
It's not going to be a popular opinion.
Ooh.
Trade.
Justin Jefferson. I think this one's a pick.
Oh, take.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this one might be a trade. Patrick Queen.
Trade.
Yeah, knew that one was coming. How about another linebacker, Kenneth Murray?
I like him.
There's a hole there.
But he's just not that. There is a hole. There is a hole at that linebacker spot. Oh. Trade.
Ooh. Ooh. I suppose you're looking for some good value. If Murray's still there at 33, he might get a good offer. Josh Jones.
Yes. Take.
And our last one is Zach Bourne.
Take.
There we go.
Number one out of the whole lot. Take.
Wow.
Yes.
So you obviously like Zach Bourne, but what else?
Tell me that order again, Doc, because I want to know your opinion.
My opinion. Oh, put me on the spot. Ruiz, I'm going to say take. Mims, again, I'm going to say take. I just don't think a lot of these guys are going to fall out. But if they do, I'm taking them because they're going to be my best player. Jefferson, yep, take. Queen, if he's the best player on the board, for me, he's like a 40th pick, so something's gone weird. But if he's the best player, then yeah, sure, take. Murray, again, take. Josh Jones, take. Bourne, oof, it's a tough one. I think take. It'd only really be guys like Wilson, Gross Matos, those kind of guys that I'd be less intrigued by. I really think 33 is a position you need to take as kind of a second first round pick rather than trading down for two lower potential picks.
Yeah.
That's my view.
It's just with this rebuild. I mean, it's just with this rebuild mode that we're in, and we need as many picks as we can. You know, especially early on as well.
Yeah. It would really depend on what the offer is.
It's just the kind of situation that we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it does. All depends.
So we talked about these day one guys, early day two guys. Who are these guys, sort of day two, day three that we've not mentioned that you really want to shout about? Give me 2 or 3 guys that you really want to spread the love to.
I'll say there's. It could be a late day. No, late day two guy. I'll say Jordan Elliott, defensive tackle out of Missouri. It looks like a defensive end as well. Very athletic. The thing that stood out to me with it is how well he uses his hands. Very strong, very productive as well. I think people are sleeping on him. We've also got Devin Duvernay out of Texas. Another guy, like I mentioned, with Justin Jefferson early, can play inside, can play outside. He's quick. He had a really good combine. He's not the tallest of guys, but he's really strong. I think he used to be like a wrestler or something like that. I don't know if I've heard wrong on that. He used to do some other kind of combat sport. He's just a really tough dude. He's somebody who could work in a lot of systems. And off the top of my head, there's also this Harrison Bryant tight end out of Florida Atlantic. He's a guy that reminds me of, as a lot of Bengals fans might know, Tyler Eifert. Real athletic guy, but not as injury prone as Tyler Eifert, especially when they were at college as well. Yeah. That was the thing, you know, with Tyler Eifert at Notre Dame, he were injury prone as well then, which was a shame. But that's another story. But yeah, those 3 guys are guys that I think I'm certainly, depending on, I mean, even whoever they go to, I'm going to be keeping my eye on them for sure. You need to tell me yours. I want to know yours.
Number one on my list, it has to be Antonio Gibson. I've been on this
Oh,
guy's
yeah, boy.
train, this guy's hype train since I think I picked him up as a 6th round in a mock simulator. He is, I can't describe him as anything but a weapon. Running back, wide receiver. I think he has ability to play bits of both in the NFL. He has size at 6'2". He's not afraid of physicality, takes contact well. He's quick, runs a 4.39, good hands. It's just a guy you can line up in the backfield. You can motion out into slot. I'd be scared as a defensive coordinator trying to cover him, and incredible on special teams as well. Just I think the only concern with him is how limited his production was. He only took I think 77 receptions and carries last year, as his first year at college. Prior to that, he was in junior college. And I think that's where the concerns are. But from the little we've seen, the production and the ability is another level. So I'm a
What
huge
we're going
fan
to
of
ask
his.
about, just to interrupt you, Doc,
Go on.
what we're going to ask you about Gibson, because I've not seen a great deal of it. I know you love him. I know you talked about him for months. What is it you've seen? What kind of scheme is it that you see? Is it the kind of guy that's in like a Shanahan kind of scheme? Andy Reid? What kind of role do you see him playing in at the next level?
I think he's kind of versatile. He's not going to be kind of your standard power I run formation guy, just plowing up the middle of the trenches. But he's going to be that guy that's kind of a bit more, like you say, kind of a West Coast and Shanahan or Andy Reid air raid spread style, where he has the ability to find space and create space. If you're lining linebackers up against this guy in man, and you're not going to win that rep. So that's where I see his ability.
Right.
Just the production on tape is phenomenal. I think he had 14 touchdowns in those 80 snaps, so it's a ridiculous conversion rate from touches. The next guy for me, I'm going to go for an offensive tackle, and one we've not mentioned yet. A day 2 guy for me is Matt Peart. He is huge. He's 6'8", a former basketball kind of guy.
Yeah.
Massive wingspan, kind of like he looks a bit like a tree. But for that size, he's incredibly athletic. Mirrors really well. I guess he's a 2nd round guy or 3rd round guy maybe, because he's not knocking guys back. But he's a great ability to mirror and move for that kind of size, and that wingspan just means it's incredibly difficult to beat him around the corner. So Matt Peart's my kind of guy, the UConn tackle.
Yeah.
My 3rd guy, we kind of briefly mentioned it earlier, is Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State. This guy we didn't see this super 40 speed time that I kind of thought he would show from his vertical threat on tape, but we did see this real ability to create separation from his route running and just a short area quickness. He's a very bursty speed kind of guy, good hands, and exceptional after the catch, just creates yards after contact, creates space. He has a really great ability to know where to run after he catches the ball, which some receivers just don't seem to have. And again, another guy who can offer something on the return team. Was a kick returner at Arizona State. So Ayuk's a guy I like. I actually have a 1st round grade on him. I think there's rumors that a few teams have that as well. Be interesting to see where he goes. I'm actually going to be cheeky and slide a 4th in. Very naughty. And this is a real sleeper. This is a guy that I only watched fully kind of the other day. I think I mentioned to you when I watched him as Azur Kamara, Kansas linebacker edge. He is raw. That's the first word. But athletic. He's long, kind of 6'3", 6'4", edge linebacker type. But he really pops off the snap. Once that ball is snapped, he flies into that tackle, and creates a lot of power and ball rush for a guy who's not the biggest as an edge, but certainly a lot of potential. Incredibly kind of raw, as I mentioned. I don't think he goes early. Definitely a day 3 guy. But there's lots of interest from the Bengals side, apparently. 2 kind of visits with him, both at the Senior Bowl and via Skype. So be a good one to see. I'd like to see him with the Bengals. I'd like to see him succeed, but let's see.
Yeah, interesting. Nice sleepy guys we got there. I like
Good
it.
stuff. Sam, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise, sir.
It's gonna
Likewise.
be nice to finally see Burrow with a Bengals hat or whatever they've managed to ship to him in this strange time we're in.
Let's hope so.
All right.
Nice talking to you, mate.
And you.
I'll speak to you, I guess, tomorrow after the draft.
In the new era of Bengaldom.
Well, we've gone on for a little bit long. It's like an hour and a half away to the draft now. So, yeah.
See you then.
Fist bump. There you go, sir.